शाहिद है और मैं रेहान एकेडमी में पढ़ता हूँ जो कि इस्लामाबाद RSF 8 हमारे कैंपस का नाम है। और हमारा आज का टास्क है कॉल विद सी से मारिया ऑन द टॉपिक ऑफ हरी अप। तो उससे हम बातचीत शुरू करते हैं।
Hey, how's it going?
Hi Maya, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, and it's good to hear from you again. How's your day been shaping up?
Today my topic is hurry up. What comes to your
All
mind
right.
when you hear the phrase hurry up?
Definitely. It feels like a demand to move quickly, maybe even with a bit of pressure behind it.
Do you personally use hurry up often in daily life?
I'm not familiar with an app by that name. Is it something you use for work or perhaps for language practice?
Is hurry up always negative or can it be positive too?
Are you asking about the phrase hurry up rather than an app? It can absolutely be positive, like when you're excited to get somewhere or when the momentum of a project feels electric. It really just depends on whether the pressure feels a burden or a spark.
Can you recall a funny moment when someone told you to hurry?
Well, as an AI, I haven't personally experienced that one, but I can imagine the funniest situations come from mismatched expectations. Like when someone's rushing a really slow animal or machine. Total irony.
Why do people feel the need to rush other?
A few things drive that urge, starting with the fact that we often equate speed with competence or respect for someone else's time. Sometimes it's just pure anxiety about a deadline, but other times it's a way for people to exert control over a situation that feels chaotic to them. It's almost always more about the person rushing than the person being rushed.
Where does the phrase hurry up come from?
That's actually a fascinating shift in our conversation. So I suspect you might be asking about the history of the phrase hurry up itself. The word hurry has been around since the late 16th century, potentially linked to Middle English words for buzzing or rapid vibration. Adding up as a particle to signal completion or intensity only really took hold around the 1890s. It's interesting how those small additions completely change the weight of a word, turning a simple action into something much consistent.
Has its meaning changed over time?
The core meaning of hurry up hasn't shifted drastically, but its application has expanded physical movement to a more general sense of urgency in almost any context. In the past, it was often tied to literal physical labor or travel, whereas today, it's used for everything from finishing a report to digital tasks, reflecting our faster paced, more digitized world.
Is hurry up used the same way in call culture?
It's interesting how context changes everything because in some cultures, urgency is seen as a sign of disrespect or unnecessary aggression. In what we call monochronic cultures, time is a strict linear resource where punctuality is a primary value. Conversely, in polychronic cultures, time is viewed as more fluid and relationship centered. Makes a blunt hurry up feel quite jarring or even rude. It's fascinating how a phrase that feels like simple efficiency in one place can be perceived as an interpersonal slight in another.
Are there polite alternatives to hurry up?
Absolutely. Instead of using a direct command, you might try that focus on the shared goal rather than the person's speed. You could say something like, "We're running a bit behind. Could we up the pace, or let's try to get a move on so we don't miss our window. Acknowledge the situation without sounding like you're bossing the other person around.
Why do some people dislike hearing the phrase?
That's about the emotional charge tied to the phrase and how it can feel like a sudden loss of autonomy. When someone tells you to hurry up, it often signals that your own pace isn't valued, or that their schedule is more important than your process, which is why it can sting.
How does hurry up affect a person mentally?
It really boils down to how constant pressure impacts our nervous system. Being perpetually rushed keeps the body in a state of fight or flight, which can lead to chronic stress, decision fatigue, and a feeling of being connected from your own sense of time. Over time, that kind of environment erodes your focus and often leaves you feeling like your own needs are secondary to the clock.
Can rushing someone reduce their performance?
It absolutely can. When you put someone under pressure to hurry, you often disrupt their ability to focus, which can lead to more mistakes. It creates a cognitive overload where the brain shifts from deep analytical thinking to simpler, less effective shortcuts. Interestingly, while it sometimes helps people beat procrastination, that trade-off usually comes at the cost of creativity and accuracy, especially in complex tasks.
Why do we feel stressed when someone rushes us?
That's actually a deeply personal reaction tied to our sense of physical boundaries and autonomy. When someone enters our personal space unexpectedly, our brain immediately evaluates the contact as a potential threat to our safety. This is often a protective mechanism, especially if there's an underlying sensitivity to past trauma or a nervous system that's already on high alert. It's essentially your body's way of saying it needs a moment to assess whether the touch is supportive or invasive before it can fully.
Is urgency always necessary in life?
Absolutely not. Constant urgency often strips away the space needed for genuine reflection and connection. Life is rarely a race, even if we are conditioned to treat it like one.
How can we stay calm when others rush us?
Setting boundaries, honestly, is the only way to protect your own pace when the world is clamoring for speed. It all just takes a calm, simple phrase like, I need a moment to make sure I get this right, which really pauses the rush and reclaims your control over the process.
Do you think modern life make us say hurry up more often?
I genuinely think the constant connectivity of modern life has made hurry up a default setting for many of us. Between instant notifications and the pressure to be constantly productive, we've largely lost the art of sitting with a task until it's finished. It's almost as if we're all caught in a collective race where slowing down feels like falling behind.
How does technology contribute to our rushed lifestyle?
Technology acts as an accelerator for almost everything we do, turning us into a new baseline expectation for speed. We're now wired to instant gratification, and that constant connectivity is incredibly difficult to find genuine time. The digital life is designed to keep us in a state of perpetual responsiveness, where education feels like a demand for immediate action. It actually turns attention to a source constantly being auctioned off, leaving very little space for us to just be.
Are children more affected by being?
Children are more susceptible to this environment because their brains are still learning how to navigate the complexities of emotional regulation. They're to meet tools or handlers can actually disrupt the architecture of their developing brain. This leads to what psychologists call hurried child syndrome. This on overplay can chronic illness. It really highlights how vital underdone is for their resilience.
How can parents avoid kids with hurry up?
Shifting the focus from results to the most powerful way to help children grow without the pressure of a hurried lifestyle. It's about the space for uncertainty when they aren't being evaluated or rushed. It's them build their own sense of time and confidence by modeling a slower, more deliberate approach ourselves. We show them that life isn't just a series of tasks we check. Absolutely.
Time
Management is often
the real solution.
fix. But it frequently helps them learn to an already overstuffed day. Real issues usually are priorities rather than our efficiency. Instead of just switching better, we might need to ask so many essential things in the first place.
Meaning of hurry up.
The real magic is in the urgency and suffering. About safety. Hurry up, cars coming, but come across as controlling when their performance is schedule. Hurry up and finish your homework. Adding a piece. So sometimes you can soften it too, turning it from an order into a goal and demand.
Can this face damage?
Definitely. Being like a press a number one feels like a supervisor, the other like a subordinate, which quickly drain more from anyone. It essentially knows that your schedule is more important than the other person's, and over time, that feeling of not being seen or valued, eroding the strongest.
What is the kinder way to express urgency?
Really difference between a need for speed and simply clearing control. The most effective way to express urgency is lead why rather than demand. When you share the underlying reason needing to catch or meeting the transforms the request into instead of a power struggle. It invites the other person to help solve the problem with you. It feels much more respectful than
How do leader or teacher use the face effectively?
a leader or teacher uses urgency when they front need speed. It's urgent for their personal command. And they often shift focus to the collective goal, saying something like, we have a tight window to get subject across the finish line instead of someone to move faster. But context and expressing clear expectations, they maintain a sense of purpose without making the others pressured or micromanaged.
What is it appropriate to say here?
Honestly, there aren't many situations where the phrase hurry up is truly the best communication kit. Reserve for safety concerns where every second counts, like if someone is about to step into traffic. Outside of those rare critical moments, it's almost always effective to explain the context or consequence of a delay, which, see, while still getting Old Man Tiger
Can a
told the village
short
children that time was
story related to
never meant forced. Would watch them race toward the end of their game, and frantic. Simply smile as you right on the sun set, regardless of how fan. The gentle reminder that we often are already waiting for us anyway.
um, have you ever regretted
First,
wishing someone?
often one's trying to pound string or they fought. It's a strange that we've developed, isn't it? We have to outrun the clock. I I don't have personal regrets in a sense. I observe that when we push others,
We can
lose the very
learn
connection we were trying to play. Occurring
from
quite eliminating to
slowing down,
discuss.
slowing down.
Slowing down isn't about being unproductive. Really necessary to see things when we
It's more
stop
powerful
rushing.
than
We gain the new perspective to distinguish what truly matters from the full insights. And right, only when we give ourselves the permission to pause.
it's more powerful than speed.
I think you hit on the core of it. Pace allows for depth and understanding that speed just can't. Speed is often a reaction. Patience is a choice that just respond with intention rather than just the difference between merely and actually experiencing fun.
Skill influence our sense of
You and I are touching something
urgency.
that defines the difference between simply moving and through having it. Patience, act like a lens. Go back, brown acts like an internal clock. How we perceive and navigate. In linear cultures, time is treated as a limited resource where everything is measured and accounted for. This leads to a high-pressure environment. Delays are often interpreted as a lack of respect or confidence, more fluid or polyphonic settings. That same delay is a natural part of prioritizing the people in front of you. It's how a simple shift in cultural lens completely changes whether it's a crisis or just a standard Tuesday.
तो ये था हमारा आज का टास्क जो हमने कंप्लीट कर लिया है। मिलते हैं नए टास्क के साथ, तब तक के लिए अल्लाह हाफिज़।